I'm Craig.
I'm Tony.
And this is Photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? That's a very good question. Photosynthesis is the process of converting light energy into chemical energy and storing it in the bonds of sugar. This process occurs in plants and some algae. Plants need only light energy, CO2, and H2O to make sugar. The process of photosynthesis takes place in the chloroplasts, specifically using chlorophyll, the green pigment involved in photosynthesis. Below you see the formula for photosynthesis. 6 carbon dioxide molecules plus 6 water molecules with some light energy gives you organic matter, sugar, and 6 oxygen molecules.
So here we have a cellular diagram of photosynthesis. Going into the chloroplast are water, light, and carbon dioxide, and going out are sucrose and oxygen. You can see here that there are two different processes involved in photosynthesis. Notice the use of ATP and NADPH, meaning that this requires energy.
Now here we have a structure called the chloroplast. This is where all the magic happens. Inside the chloroplast is where photosynthesis occurs. The chloroplasts are green because they contain the pigment chlorophyll. These organelles are found in not only plant cells, but other eukaryotic organisms that also conduct photosynthesis. The chloroplast's job is to capture the light energy, conserve the free energy in the form of ATP, and reduce NADP to NADPH.
A thylakoid is a membrane-bound compartment inside chloroplast and cyanobacteria. They are the site of light-dependent reactions of photosynthesis. Thylakoids consist of a thylakoid membrane surrounding a thylakoid lumen. Chloroplast thylakoids frequently form stacks of discs referred to as grana. Grana are connected by intergrana or stroma thylakoids, which join granum stacks together as a single functional compartment.
There are two separate phases of photosynthesis. The first phase, the light-dependent phase, consists of photosystems 2 and 1. Yes, it goes 2 then 1. And these systems create the ATP and the NADPH that fuel the second part of photosynthesis, known as the Calvin cycle, the light-independent phase. This phase takes the ATP and the NADPH from the light-dependent phase and uses it to break down CO2 to create G3P, or sucrose. Both of these phases take place in the thylakoid membrane, and both of these phases use energy. Now we're going to break down each phase in more detail.
Here we have a light-dependent reaction. These reactions take place on the thylakoid membrane in the chloroplast. The light-dependent reactions, or light reactions, are the first stage of photosynthesis. In this process, light energy is converted to chemical energy in the form of the energy-carrying molecules ATP and NADPH. Even though light-independent reactions are by convention also called dark reactions, they are not independent of the need of light, for they are driven by ATP and NADPH, products of light. Now if you look down at the diagram, you can see that in photosystem 1, H2O is split into O2 and hydrogen. These electrons are then processed by the photons, and you end up with ATP. The electrons are then again processed by photons, and you are resulting with NADPH.
The final step in photosynthesis is the Calvin cycle, or light-independent phase. When ribisco, ribulose 1,5-biphosphate carboxylase oxygenase, catalyzes the attachment of CO2 to the 5-carbon RUBP, the Calvin cycle begins. Reactions are initiated to rebuild RUBP from PGA. In this process, one molecule of glyceraldehyde, 3,5-phosphate, G3P, a 3-carbon sugar, is removed from the cycle. Altogether, one molecule of G3P is produced using 3 molecules of CO2, 9 molecules of ATP, and 6 molecules of NADPH. This 3-carbon sugar can be exported to the cytoplasm to make sucrose, a sugar and a carbohydrate, which is then moved throughout the entire plant for energy use. Alternatively, sucrose can be converted into another carbohydrate, starch, and then stored in the chloroplast as a type of energy reserve.
The importance of photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is a process in which plants show their true autotroph characteristics and create food in the form of glucose. Through photosynthesis, plants take CO2, a gas we breathe out as waste, and turn it into oxygen and glucose, which is gas that mainly all organisms need to survive, and food. Hey guys, I hope you learned something today about photosynthesis.
Yep, and Ms. Reeves, we worked really hard on this, and you look really nice today. So I hope you give us a good grade. Thank you. Skyrim!